Welcome to episode 56 of the Perspective Podcast. We've got a lot to talk about. Two top tier albums that are in my rotation have dropped by two phenomenal artists. And I can't believe that they dropped. I never thought that they were going to drop this year. I mean, the first one, yes, but not this one in particular. I had no clue. J.Cole and Don Toliver. That's all I need to say. Don Toliver and J.Cole. They dropped phenomenal albums. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to go first on the episode prior. So, I've been listening to a lot of music recently. I've been tapping into a lot of bands, been tapping into a lot of indie rock music, all that type of stuff. But, yesterday I realized that hip hop, rap, R&B will always be like the holy grail genre for me. Will always be the genre that I'll listen to no matter what. Nothing can actually change that. That's always going to be my main one. Even though I love listening to all these different genres, like I'm an indie boy now, alternate, I'm a rock type of listener. You know what I mean? Like my caliber is different now. But recently, these like two albums that dropped made me realize, wait a damn minute, rap music is still top tier. Like there's still a chance in this hip hop rap type of era in terms of music. I completely forgot. Maybe just because there hasn't been that much top tier rap and R&B music dropping that I've just been like, fuck, I'm just gonna listen to this other stuff. And then when that shit comes back, but I'm back to listening to rap and R&B, it's just mad how it just changes. But I've always grown up in like a rap type of R&B. Well, not really rap. Rap mainly from my sister, but R&B and pop and just melodic music from my mum. And then growing up, I'd always be a fan of like Black Eyed Peas, Chris Brown, and my sister was the one who put me onto Drake, Young Money, like Lil Wayne. And then I was like, you know what, this music is actually fire. Always grew up around that genre. It's always been my favorite, and it always will be. Anyway, these albums dropped the other day, and wow, this has been on repeat. It's been on repeat. With Don Toliver's album, right? I was very worried at first with that album because I wanted it to be a complete different album. His album that he did previously, Hearthstone Cycle, it was cool, but it wasn't something that I'd listen to on repeat. It was it just wasn't my type of vibe, like the Hearthstone Cycle, that type of vibe. I feel like may have been forced, even though I enjoyed a few songs on that album. My favorite on that album was the one with Teaser Touchdown. What is it? Backseat. I met her last week. Backstreet or Backseat, whatever it's called. Phenomenal song. Just that melodic flow. Obviously you have the other songs that it did, like they were cool. Obviously you have New Drop. You know what I mean? We get it. But then this album here, it's completely different to that. And that's all I wanted. I wanted it to have like the R&B, the like Life of a Don, Love Sick vibe all put together. And it did. It also had some Hearthstone Cycle vibe to it, which I did enjoy too. But it had a blend of everything into one. And man, I'm so happy with that album, bro. I'm so happy with that album. Like, I would get the vinyl of it because the cover looks sick. Wow, bro. Wow. Don Toliver's really doing Cactus Jack well because it's such a good album. And you say, why? Why I think the album is so well. It sounds good. The melodic flow is perfect. Just the way that it's run. It's not too much noise, it's too little. It's like, it's got a perfect balance. If you like Don Toliver's music and if you like to listen to something that's just digestible, it's just there to listen to. It sounds amazing and I enjoyed that. I really liked it. Shout out to Don Toliver for that because there was something about the sound that was just nice. And these are my favorite songs of the album. Off the top of my head, E85, perfect. I was thinking, what is E85? And then the other day, I went to fill up my tank, and then I see E85. I'm thinking, oh, shit's petrol, or for your American users, it's shit's gas. I can't lie. Saying gas is so much better than petrol. Like, why do we say petrol? Like, it should be gas. Like, this shit's the shit's gas. No wonder why he called the intro E85 because it's gas. It's nothing but gas. Is like it just makes sense. Body, I like that one too. But then forget all of that stuff. It goes into like this perfect run. I don't know the run specific. I think it's like Long Way to Calabasas. Then it goes to the one with Travis, Rosary. Then it goes to All the Signs. And then it goes to another one just below that. But like those three songs, those That's all you need. You could literally vibe to that song, go on a long drive. Like I went on a drive and I was listening to the album. Did I say All the Signs? I don't know if I did. Go on a drive and listen to this album. It's an album that you will listen to while on a drive. It sounds amazing. It sounds perfect. It does not miss. I will say on this album, Don't Tell Ever was a bit too freaky. But hey, we need those type of albums. You know what I mean? Like, those type of those albums are good, man. It's good for you. Like, hey, with him and Cali, you know, what? Like, I don't blame him for like. You know what I mean? I don't blame him for that. He's got a baddie. Like him and Cali, bro. Like Cali has. She's so bad. There's a song on there called K9, I think. It has So Baby on it. I wasn't really a big fan of it, but then I saw this video of this creator that I like to watch. One of my guys, his name's called Keizu or Keizo. I still get it wrong to this day. He was just listening to So Baby's part, and he was actually floated. Like, it's mad how when listening to an album, watching people react to it, it makes you fall in love with an album even more. Like, people don't actually talk about that. That's why I love listening or watching album reactions, because you know when you like a song so much, right? And then you see someone else liking a song, it gives you this feeling like, yo, this is it. Sometimes when you don't like a song as much and you see them enjoying it, you kind of realize, like, you see it from their perspective of why it's a good song, pun intended. Like, you get to realize, like, okay, maybe this song is good because you're open to hear what people are saying. Those are the type of videos that I love to watch on YouTube, just album reactions. Maybe that's why I do all these album reactions, because I just grew up always watching them. But yeah, there's something deeper when you like a song and the person that you're watching likes a song and you vibe specifically at the same part. Like, you know how they put the song to the specific part that you enjoyed so much and then they enjoy it. It's like, that is like fireworks in your body, because you're thinking, damn, I'm not the only one. Like, that is literally, you're not the only one, but there's something, what's the word, universal with music that just carries a whole vibe. And when you enjoy music so much, when you like a specific part that the other people will like as well, it's amazing. That's why I love going to concerts, because that part when everyone is like singing the same line together back to back and the artist is just like vibing too, like it doesn't get more connected than that. No phones, just vibing, even though sometimes I'll have my phone out, but that's just for content purposes. But other than that, like, you're just enjoying the vibe. Like, it's just perfect. It's sweet. The only critique I would say is that some parts were a bit too repetitive. I wasn't really a fan of Secondhand, but then I listened to it again. I'm like, you know what, it's cool. I like it. And it's the most detailed song out of the album, in my opinion, as well as All the Signs. Like, those two songs are the most detailed and the most like in depth Don Toliver actually went. What made him flow like that, bro? He did something, bro, because that album is actually so good. I'm really gonna listen to that album again. And then, like, there's a song in there called TMU, underrated song on the album. Always stay young, always stay young. I really was just chilling, right? You know when a song just randomly comes into your head? Like, that song did, and I don't even have that song in my library at that point. Now I do. But I was like, you know what, let me go on a drive and listen to this song. Now I fucking love it. It sounds amazing. Can I, like, all you need to hear is the intro. I'd rather be with you. I'd rather pick it up. I'd rather run it through. If you like a smooth vibe for an album, listen to it. It works. It's smooth. It sounds nice. This podcast is for music lovers and for people that are open to new perspectives. So therefore, go and listen to the album, tap it in, and just see the album for yourself. Maybe you already have tapped into the album. Amazing. The album is really good. That I prefer it. Our first listen, it really is like top tier. I don't want to put a label or a number onto it yet, but it's up there. It really is. But I enjoyed the album thoroughly, and I can't wait to see what Don Toliver has to go with this era, because I like it. And while he does these eras, he usually jumps onto the next one. Like, I don't want that. I want him to stick with this one and just stay with it, because it's a good album. It's a really good album, and it deserves its praise. J.Cole dropped his album, The Fall Off, and I didn't realize that he was supposed to drop this album in 2016, but it took him 10 years to drop this album. He's currently he's in his 40s right now. So when he made this album, he was literally 39. He dropped 2 singles. He released singles in 2016, right? And it was Fool's Profit and Everybody Dies. This was supposed to be for his album, The Fall Off. But, you know, life happens. Therefore, he ended up not dropping it. And I remember when he did this Instagram post of like these album titles, and it had the off season, it had It's a Boy, and then the last album was Fall Off. And of course, he dropped off season, which I do like, but I do feel like with the off season, it really was an off season album. I don't know if that makes sense, but it felt like an off season album that, you know, you can just listen to it on the side, but it's not anything crazy other than a few standout songs to me, which were Hunger on the Hillside and Let Go of My Hand and Applying Pressure, maybe the intro. But those are the only songs that I still listen to till this day. The few other songs, they came out a bit corny to me, and I was like, I'm not really a fan that I'd listen to it. I was thinking of Pride is the Devil. It's a good song, but it's like I wouldn't really listen to it as much. That's what the vibe of that album had to me anyway. Like, it's a good album, but I wouldn't really go out my way to listen to it as much, like, other than them songs that I mentioned, Hung on Hillside, Applying Pressure, and Let Go of My Hand. If you haven't listened to them songs, like, that will inspire you to be a better man and to just go all in what you're trying to do. Especially Hunger on Hillside. Like, if you haven't listened to that song, listen to it because it will do something to you. I remember I was on the way back home from work, and this was at the period when I did not have my car yet. I'd be on the bus. Yeah, exactly. Public transport. I'd be on the bus. I don't like the bus. Who does like the bus? But it's raining, like it's heavy rain, and you're just hearing the lyrics. He says these things that just, it's like, shit gon' get hard, keep your head strong. If I quit now, then I'm dead wrong. There's just something amazing about that song that if you haven't listened to it, tap in because it sounds amazing. The way it sounds, the second part especially of that song, like, it made me realize, okay, J.Cole is really him. And then Let Go of My Hand, it really is a song that, like, you're going on a walk, it's a sunny day, and you're just like reflecting on life. I want to be my biggest fan, like how it was when didn't nobody know my jams. Today my son said dad. Today, see, I'm trying to rap it. I'm trying to read it like how J. Cole is rapping it. Today my son said, Dad, let go of my hand. Reminding me one day he's gonna be his own man. And my job is to make sure he's equipped. I gotta make sure he's not no bitch because niggas about to try him. If I said I was the toughest growing up, I would be lying. Like, bro, that's one of the realest things I've ever heard, bro, because you know how everyone likes to put a tough demeanor on who they are, like they're the toughest guy of all time. I never related with a song so much until I heard that song because it just hit. Like, if I said I was the toughest growing up, I would be lying. I did not grow up in a rough background. I was never the type of person that grew up being around the wrong crowd. I was always to myself. I was always home. I was always listening to music. I was always just chilling with my mom or my sister, either crying or some shit, or playing my video games. That was always me. I wasn't that type of guy that would do all these, like, you know, be up to mischief. I was never that type of guy. It wasn't me. And I'm grateful for that because it really made me realize that there's a beauty in just sticking to your own lane and not following what people do. And I didn't realize at that time that it was what I was doing. Like, I'd always be that type of kid that would just watch his Lazy Town, watch his TV shows, watch Shake It Up. Like, I was never a tough type of guy, and I'm grateful for that because it really put me off this, like, gang stuff. I feel like if I tried to get into that, if I was really as tapped into this, like, rap stuff, I would probably go into that wrong side, but I'm grateful that I didn't. I grew up very oblivious to, like, the bad stuff going on in this world, and it comes with its blessings and it comes with its cons because growing up very oblivious to things, you start to, it's of course at a young age it's amazing to stay oblivious, but I feel like at the age that I'm at, I can still act very oblivious in certain type of ways that I always will see the good in a lot of things, even the bad, which obviously it depends how bad you're talking. Like, there's the bad that I will see bad instantly, but sometimes if someone does something that's, like, not right to me or to anyone, I'll always be that type of guy that will play the devil's advocate. That will always be like, okay, but he did that because maybe that's what is good. Like, you know, I'll always be that type of guy that will, like, think from that person's perspective. this is no pun at all, but you know, I've always been that type of guy that will like see both sides of a story and then work out, okay, which way to go to. But so it's a blessing, but it also is a curse because when you go through shit that someone actually does some bad shit to you, my mind is always going to be thinking the good more than the bad. But the bad is like, yo, you gotta stand on your own 2 feet and you gotta move on, you know. And sometimes it can be quite difficult for me to be going through that. Damn, I don't know how talking about J. Cole's album just turned into me opening up so much about my trauma. But honestly, it's real, and that's something that I grew up like, and I'm very grateful for that. The world is a wicked place, and no, sometimes it's good not to see the world in that way because it will just make you more depressed. It's like watching the news. J. Cole's album, 2023 was the year that he jumped on Drake's song, First Person Shooter, and it really stemmed all this Kendrick and Drake beef that happened, you know, which was very weird. It did not need to happen, but it just did. All because Kendrick said, fuck the big three, it's just big me. And therefore he dropped the diss track. I haven't heard it in a while and I forgot how it sounds, but he sounded very butthurt and it sounded very forced. And everyone hated on him for doing that, but I was that type of guy that was like, I'm happy he did that because it shows that it's really not him. And he took that back and he went through all that stuff. And of course, like people look at you differently, but a for the person that he is, that's not him to be doing that stuff. And it really shows that even when you're at the top, you can still fall into this pressure, this peer pressure, or you could do these things, but you just really don't want to, but you just do it anyway. And you've got to be quick because if you're not, then it's only going to get worse. So, hey, thank God that he just deleted it and just didn't even get back to doing that stuff because it was not a good look for him. And for him to talk about that at the Dreamville Fest, you know, he's a smart man. As much as people want to hate, you know, he's a smart man. The Fall Off is basically an album. He made music in the first place because of the love for it. And he left his home at the age of 19. I think it was 19. He left to go to New York for college. And while doing that, he was like, you know, I'm just going to go all in with what I love to do. And he started to just do this rapping stuff. Like, you know, he started to, you know, just create and make music. And he went back home at the age of 29. From him being back, he realized there's a lot of changes that's happened. There's two parts. There's part 29 and there's part 39. So 29 is when he's going back home after all of this like stuff that's happened in his life, you know, like the growth of fame and all these like just things that he's just seeing from his perspective as a 29-year-old. And then he leaves and then he doesn't go back until he's 39 is when he goes back and he sees life from a complete different lens. And you see a complete difference between both discs. And the disc one is more of a, you could tell that there's a lot of youthful spirit in there, confidence, his own braggadocious. You know, he's literally saying that even though he comes across as humble, he's still a bougie type of guy. Like he didn't say any of that in the second part, but he still comes across as a humble guy, but obviously he's got class and he's got standards. That's why he called the first part. And I really enjoyed it. First listen, I was thinking, yeah, this is the one. Especially for songs like, I really like off this album, my favourites on the disc 29. Legacy, I really like. Bunts Road Blues, I really like. The Let Out, Bombs in the Ville, Poor Thing, Safety. There's a lot of good parts on this album. I really like Who the Fuck Is You because there's a part where he's like just in his flow where he's just flowing. He had no reason to flow so much, but he just is. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I just like the way that he's just lyrically there. He's just there, you know, he's enjoying it and he's just flowing. Like that's all you needed. That's really all you need. And I'm actually happy that the way that he delivered from his cadence, from his flows. He said one line on the album, on the first part, that stuck to me. I was listening to it at the gym. I know the more I gotta struggle is the more I gain. And like, you can't get rid of that. Like, the more you struggle is the more that, you know, you gain. And there was a part in 2-6 when he was like, be careful of the things and the melodies that you hum. Because, you know, songs that you listen to is very like, it's very spiritual. I'm a spiritual man. So it's like, the songs that you listen to, bro, even if they're catchy, they can be bad for you without even realizing. So it's like, it's mad that he said that because it really does, it gets you sometimes, it really gets you thinking like, damn, okay, but that's the good thing I like about J. Cole's music. He's just very, he knows what he's talking about and he takes his time, and that's what I appreciated with this album, especially the first part. But then he gets to the second part, disc 39, and this is him going back home as a 39-year-old. I knew exactly from the first part, from the intro 39, that it was going to be the way that the sound, the way that the music is on this part is going to be different. You can like, for the first time, I really was thinking like music can tell a story just by its sound without even having to say anything. You know, it was more of like a jazz. It was more less jazz, but it was more of like a deep thought album that he's more mature, he's more wiser. You know, there's more love into this album. I think the first part would be like a bit more lust, but the second part was more love rooted, family connection building more than anything. And he really mentioned a lot about love on the second part. That you could tell that okay, he's really becoming more of like a family man. He's putting the woman that he loves first, and he's realizing, you know, the family, the people that are around you are more important than anything. Of course, you got your career that you want to go to, which is always going to be the thing that you're going up towards. But, you know, your family, the people that you love, that person that you love is always going to be that staple, because without them, you're nothing. And as well, I like that on the last song, he was like, you got to put yourself to the top, that you're higher than everyone, because if you put yourself there, you end up with me. You know, I was actually kind of sick that he did that, but, you know, you just got to keep going. I like how he was very motivational and inspirational, and that's why I like his music. After listening to the album, first listen, I enjoyed the first part more. But then, yesterday, I was cooking dinner, I was making a Sunday roast dinner. Second time I've made roast dinner like off the dome myself with a little bit of help from Mumsy, right? And Mum comes back home from work, and at this time I'm playing J. Cole's album, the disc 39 section, and Mum walks into the kitchen and she's instantly vibing to the album. And you know, she even asks, "Who is this?" You know, when your parents ask, "Who is this?" That's how you know that they like the song that you're playing. And I had some big grin on my face. I was like, "Jermaine!" We were just vibing to the album, and there's nothing better than listening to music with your parents, seeing them vibing to it and you vibing to it too. I always like listening to the lyrics and she's there just like dancing and stuff. I was like, yeah, this is fab. But what I realized in Disc 39, it really reminded me of Tupac and the way that he flowed on this album. I think it's Life Sentence. I can't lie, I think that may be my favorite so far on Disc 39, the Villist. Because bro, that just sounds so like, it reminds me of Let Go of My Hand. He's just flowing, like he's literally just flowing. It doesn't matter what's going on, he's just flowing. And I enjoyed it more on the second listen. That now I'm thinking, wait, maybe I do like the second part more than the first. I'm at the point where I can't decide because I really like it. And you have to listen to the separate discs at different times. I don't think you can, I mean, you can, of course, but it's good to listen to this first part on its own and then listen to the second part on its own, because you really get to see the difference. But boy, I really like it and I enjoyed listening to it, because you can't go wrong with what J. Cole is doing with his music, and it just sounds perfect. And one thing about J. Cole's music is like, you can visualize what's going on while he's rapping. The way he tells a vivid picture from his words. It's literally poetry. His expression, his emotions, and he's expressing how he feels and his life and how he was in his 30s and how he was in his 20s. And I appreciate that. And the way that J. Cole performed on his album is slick, it's perfect. And I saw a tweet on someone saying how, this was Chipmunk. He was saying that he needed more Future on this album, because you know, even the biggest MCs need more melodies. And of course, cool, melodies on an album is needed, but I feel like he handled the melodic flow perfect on its own, that he didn't need Future. Like, have you not heard Let Go My Hand, The Let Out? Have you not heard Bombs in the Ville? Have you not heard, there's so many more songs that he did on an album that his melodic flow was doing perfect, that he really did not need anyone. And I like that. You know, I feel like it's the best melodically he's been on an album. I don't know where he's getting his melodic lessons from, but there was just something that he was just floating. He had no reason to float as much as he did, and I really like that. And yeah, so I disagree with that statement. And I completely forgot that people still do this Kendrick and J. Cole comparison. I'll forever be the type of guy that will say I prefer J. Cole's music. It really made me realize how much I prefer J. Cole's music because of how subtle and how simple he is. You know, I just prefer J. Cole's music and his melodic flow. He doesn't sound annoying. He's just in his bag. Like he's just there. He's just present. But the one song that I really enjoyed from Kendrick, well, from GNX was Man in the Garden. It makes you realize that there's different levels, like one who says I deserve it all, but one who's humble but still deserves that. But I don't think you can compare them, in my opinion. I mean, you can because they both do the same genre. But I just prefer J. Cole. I prefer his melodic flow and his lyricist. I prefer his flows that he does. It just matches me even more than what Kendrick does. But I love Kendrick's music. But if you were to ask me who to say, hey, I'm saying J. Cole, Jermaine Cole. You know what I mean? I'm saying him. But yeah, I genuinely forgot that people are still doing that comparison, which is kind of crazy. Like, just enjoy the music because it sounds good. And I know that there's a lot of stuff from this album that he mentions the beef, but I didn't really pick it up at that time. And, you know, damn well, I'm going to be listening to the album even more and I'm going to be looking on Genius because Genius has the better lyrics. The Spotify lyrics are so poo. They are so poo that they just get the lyrics wrong, and I'm not here for that. So I'm gonna look on Genius and just tap in, put my time into listening to this album. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So he did the sample for Life Sentence, which obviously sampled DMX's song, Is You With Me or What? But that also reminded me of Drake's You With Me or What? And I was like, the Drake resemblance. But then the previous song before that, Old Dog, it had another one that Drake used in the past for Rich Flex. Sticks and stones, come on, come. You may remember that Drake really be running this shit. He's been doing it before them. But hey, we're not gonna get into that. But yeah, Cole's music was fun. I like that album. I like how on this album he mentioned how he just loves to, purposely leave the house in double XL hoodie, just in the most humble way. I like the way that he portrays himself. Like, he's a multi-millionaire, but he's a normal type of guy. There's nothing special. And it really makes you realize that you've got to humanize these people. Like, there's nothing as high as these people. Of course, they've achieved a lot, but they're just normal people with emotions. I've recently been realizing how it's so easy to like idolize people, and I'm a victim of that. Like, I can idolize people because of how much I admire the stuff that they do or what they did to get to where they want to get to. But you gotta realize that these are the same people that just, that sin, that make all these mistakes, that they eat, they shit, they sleep, they throw up, they piss. Like, they do all the same things that we do. Like, they die. Like, they will all be 6 foot under just like us. That's in the most like logical way. I'm not trying to wish death on anybody, but we're all gonna die at one point. We're not gonna be here forever, and it really makes you realize that none of this stuff should be idolized, but it can be so easy to do so, and I do that myself, and that's one of my conflicts recently. J. Cole's album, listen to it. It's a good vibe, and you will like it. I'm sure you will. While we get into this next topic, Perspective is dropping 27th of January. You've heard it first before I've even put it on my socials. Perspective clothing is dropping. I've got Perspective, as you can see. Perspective. And I'll be dropping some clothes with it. I'll be dropping a t-shirt. I'll put the t-shirt probably like around here. Yeah, we're dropping t-shirts. And go and cop it, when it drops. 27th of February. Slick design. You got the jerseys and you got the t-shirts. You can't go wrong with it. It just looks slick. And hey, come into a store near you. I'm grateful that we're able to drop pieces, like, just as a thank you for Perspective. We're growing every day and we are achieving new heights day by day. So yeah, it will be yours very soon. We're going to be consistent with these drops and just keep dropping because why not? Why the fuck not? If you love music as much as I do, make sure you hit the follow button because every week we're always going to keep dropping bombs. We're always going to keep, releasing heavy top tier content. And that is the best thing that can be done with this pod. Just keep dropping at all times. Nothing is ever going to stop that. And I hope you're enjoying these episodes because I put a lot of passion into this. Literally just talking about music. As we go into the new week, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're taking care of yourself. Every day, go and get it, and don't let nothing stop you from becoming that best version of yourself. One thing I always will recommend for you to do is journal. Speak about what you love to do and just journal. Open up about how you feel and just journal. Like anything about how you feel and just speak about it. Open up about how you feel, what you want to achieve today, and how you want your day to go. And just if anything has been bothering you, speak about it, write it, and then say it out loud. It's a beautiful thing to just journal and to just it's just a good story. You never know. Your journal will be a story that your kids will be able to see when you're not there no more, because you've given all your stories in your 20s that is universal, that us 20-year-olds or whatever age you're in, we all go through. And when they're at that specific age, they will be able to see, and if they're going through the same situation, they'll be able to see how to navigate through things differently. So I'd always recommend to journal and just to, just write, stay tuned with writing about how you feel and what you want to achieve, because you'll be surprised on how things will start to write itself because of the things that you write down. And one thing I always say is I've been watching these videos talk about just sacrifice, and it's important to sacrifice things, and that's one thing that I struggle with. Sometimes I do too much, like way too much, that it really does hinder the quality of the work that I put out with my personal life, with my goals, with my dreams, and just with my day-to-day life. That I just do too much in one day, that it should not be the case. You realize that things become better when you just prioritize one thing instead of doing too many different things. And I'm here to stay with this content shit and I love doing this. It's a passion. So, well, may as well go all in with just this one thing and let everything happen. But I hope you are doing well and keep standing on business. Thank you for watching this episode, and listen to J.Cole and Don Toliver's album if you haven't, because it's phenomenal music. Like, real music is back.